Hello, hi, my name is Mo and I thought today I'd make a video on how to come out. So if you are here today, you are probably wondering how to come out or whether or not you should come out. So I've created a 3-question checklist that I think everybody should ask themselves before they come out. Here it is here. So the first question on that checklist is, are you safe? And it is the most important question. If you think that there is a chance when you come out that you could get hurt, don't come out, because your safety is the most important thing. Now when I say safe, I mean a lot of different things. The first one being, are you physically safe? But of course harm isn't just physical, it can also be psychological, and this is where it gets a little bit more nuanced. If you think when you come out, people are not going to accept you, I think it's a really tough call. Because if you don't come out, you are never giving these people the chance to accept you. Because I do know people who have come out to their family and their family's been really unaccepting and homophobic, but after time, their families come to accept and love them. So even if you think when you come out people are going to be homophobic or transphobic, that's not necessarily, end game, because they're not necessarily going to stay like that forever. If you're living with your parents and you're trying to decide whether to come out or not, that is a big thing. If you think there is a chance they could kick you out of the house and you would have nowhere else to go, I recommend waiting until you have a place to go, You have somewhere else to go, so if your parents do kick you out, you're not just on your own, you've got a backup plan. Basically, if you're relying on someone as a form of shelter, food, protection, whatever, you don't want to put yourself in a position where all of that can just be taken away from you in an instant. It really does come down to your specific situation. You've got to remember to be safe, but also not to give up hope. Because many people who are homophobic or transphobic have never actually met a queer person. And when they're exposed to diversity in different communities, they're more likely to come around and see that there is nothing wrong with being queer. So I think the summary of that part is just be safe. Don't put yourself in a dangerous position, but also don't give up hope. Because just because someone is not accepting now doesn't mean they will not be accepting in the future. Now we're going to move on to the second question, and that is, do they know what your identity means? This is a really important question because if you don't think they do, you're going to need to be prepared to explain it to them. It can be really difficult and frustrating to have to explain your identity to someone who doesn't understand and is likely going to ask some ignorant and inappropriate questions. Hello mother, I am gay. Thank you child, that is so good to know. Does that mean you like it up the arse? It sucks, but there just isn't much education around queer identities, so a lot of people just don't know about them. I recommend compiling some notes and maybe just jotting down a few answers to some commonly asked questions. This way you're prepared and you know what to say when they hit you with those questions. This can be especially important if you've got a non-binary identity, because a lot of people don't know what they are and a lot of people don't think they're real. So if you've got these talking points ready, you can answer their questions without getting stumped. If you can clearly explain what your identity is, they have a higher chance of accepting you because you've made it easier to understand. Okay, so now on to the third and final question, and that is, what is your relationship to this person? How important are they in your life? If they're your parent or your best friend, they're probably going to be a lot more important than just some random colleague or classmate. Your relationship to them is also going to inform the way in which you choose to come out. So if you've looked at those 3 things and you've decided, yes, coming out is the right thing to do, you now have to choose how you want to come out. And the best 2 ways to do that, I think, in my opinion, are either in person or by letter. If you feel comfortable and safe, I would recommend doing it in person, because then you have a better gauge on their reactions, you can answer any of their questions or queries. Queries, yeah. But I know a lot of people find the idea of coming out in person terrifying, and I completely understand that, and that's why I would recommend a letter as another option. I think a letter is a lot better than a text, because letters are far more personal, they've got something physical that they can hold on to, as opposed to just a text message on a screen. Hello mother, here is a letter. Please read it while I leave the room. Why has my child given me a letter? I am suddenly filled with a sense of dread, because letters mean important things. Oh, I have a text from my child. It is probably something inconsequential and boring as usual. They're gay? A what now? But these two methods work best if you live near the person. If the person lives overseas or in a different city, you're going to need to adjust your methods. If you are comfortable with it, I'd suggest coming out through a Skype call or a FaceTime call or whatever. That way you can see their reactions in person and you can answer their questions. And there is always the nice benefit of doing it through a Skype call. You know, if they start getting abusive, you can just hang up. Hello, mother. I am gay. What is that? You think gays are going to hell? Goodbye. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, then hey, I'd recommend a letter. I think letters are so much more personal and more meaningful, and I think the person is more likely to understand how much it means to you if it's coming through a letter as opposed to a text. But if for whatever reason you really don't feel comfortable sending a letter, it's just not your style, it's not your vibe, it doesn't feel right, hey, write a text. Because at the end of the day, you do know your situation best, you know yourself best, and if this is what's going to work for you, it's what's going to work for you. A lot of people fixate on the first time we come out, and you know, I understand that because the first time is the most nerve-wracking, it is the most special or important time you come out, but we seem to forget that, you know, we don't just come out once, we come out all the time. We come out again and again and again as we meet new people. Queer people never stop coming out, basically. We have to do it all the time. And it does get easier, you know, as you get more comfortable in your identity, it does get easier. But I want you to know you do need to be prepared to have to do this again. I recommend coming out to the closest people in your life, you know, telling them in person or through a letter or whatever, in a way that seems personal and individual to them. And then after you've done that, and after you've told all the people who are important to you, I actually would recommend just writing something short on Facebook, because then you can just let everybody else know in just one go. You can just say, hey, I'm gay, or I'm trans, or whatever you are. You can just say, hey, this is me. Oh, apparently Mo from work is gay. Yeah, I saw that one coming. This way, the people who you're close to won't feel upset because you will have already told them in person, and you'll also just let everybody else who you don't really care about too much, you'll let them know in one big go. Now, you might have caught what I just said about the people you're close to feeling upset if you don't tell them personally, and you might be thinking, well, they can get over it, it's my identity, not theirs. And to that I have to say, yeah, that's just straight people for you, man. You know, they're going to get upset if you don't come out to them personally because they're going to feel like you don't care about them. You know, you didn't feel comfortable enough to confide in them. When it's like, nah, coming out's just scary and I didn't want to have to do it. Obviously not all straight people. Hashtag not all straights. But yeah, coming out to the people you're close to first is important. Not just because it shows that you value them, but also because it means they can support you if they're that way inclined, and it's always nice to have some support going forward when you're trying to come out to everyone. It's also good because if you have certain people who you can't be bothered coming out to, you can just tell your friend, hey, can you just tell so-and-so that I'm gay, I can't be bothered, and then your friend can just tell them for you. Hi Stephen, Mo is too pussy to tell you in person, but they're gay. That was pretty obvious. Yeah, I didn't want to hurt their feelings though. But yeah, I think those are just kind of the main tips I would give you if you're trying to decide whether or not you want to come out, or just how you want to come out, or anything along those lines. It really stresses me out when I get asked this question because it's the question I get asked the most. I'm a 19-year-old art student, you know, I'm not a therapist or a psychologist or a counsellor. I understand why I get these questions because I make videos talking about my experiences and people feel a connection to me, and that is very special. But at the same time, you have to realise creators are just people. We're just everyday normal people. We don't have some special insight into your life. We can't give you the answers that you're looking for. I wish I could help every single one of you, but it is just not possible. But I thought I'd make this video for the people who do ask so that hopefully I can help them in some way. At the end of the day, it is your life, it is your decision, and you ultimately have to decide what's best for you. I wish you the best of luck if you are coming out, you know. I send my love, all the way from New Zealand. You've got someone sending their love to you. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end the video for today. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you can. It's Cops Hate Mo. I am Cops Hate Mo on everything. You can also pledge to my Patreon. If you pledge $5, I draw a picture of you. You can also subscribe if you want to. That would be cool if you did that. That would be really cool. But yeah, I hope you have a good day, Stay safe, and I'll see ya.